Welcome to the College Investor Audio Show, where we talk about the biggest issues impacting millennial money, from student loan debt to side hustles to building wealth. We will show you how to get out of debt so that you can build real wealth for the future.
Here's an interesting question. Maybe you've heard this posed before, but we thought we'd do a podcast about it. Would you rather have a penny a day that doubles each day for a month, or $1 million right now? We are going to dive into that. But first, a quick word from our sponsor. A credit union that offers Bitcoin? Give me 5. For a limited time only, get $5 of free Bitcoin through the Southland Credit Union app. Enrollment is quick and easy. There's no hidden fees, and you can conveniently fund Bitcoin purchases directly from a Southland account. Claim your free Bitcoin today by going to thecollegeinvestor.com/Southland. Bitcoin accounts and services provided by NYDIG. Not NCUA insured. Restrictions apply to Bitcoin bonus. See terms. And don't forget to check out thecollegeinvestor.com/Southland to sign up. All right, so I saw this question the other day, and it reminded me of one of my favorite stories from high school math. Yeah, I know, that's pretty nerdy, but this is a personal finance blog. So before I tell the story, though, think about it. If a genie appeared and gave you a choice, which would you choose? Would you rather have a penny today that doubled every day for a month, or $1 million today? The fact is, a lot of people get caught up in the initial amounts. $1 million versus a cent? But let me share the story of the grain of rice, a mathematical fable from India. I'm such a nerd. The grain of rice fable. Long ago in India, there lived a Raja who believed he was wise and fair, as a Raja should be. The people in his province were rice farmers. The Raja decreed that everyone must give nearly all of their rice to him. I will store the rice safely, the Raja promised the people, so that in time of famine everyone will have rice to eat, and no one will go hungry. Each year, the Raja's rice collectors gathered nearly all of the people's rice and carried it away to the royal storehouses. For many years, the rice grew well. The people gave nearly all of their rice to the Raja, and the storehouses were always full. But the people were left with only enough rice to get by. Then, one year, the rice grew badly, and there was famine and hunger. The people had no rice to give to the Raja, and they had no rice to eat. The Raja's ministers implored him, "Your Highness, let us open the royal storehouses and give the rice to the people as you promised." "No!" cried the Raja. "How do I know how long the famine will last? I must have the rice for myself. Promise or no promise, a Raja must not go hungry." Time went on, and the people grew more and more hungry. But the Raja would not give out the rice. One day, the Raja ordered a feast for himself and his court. As it seemed to him, a Raja should now and then, even when there is famine. A servant led an elephant from a royal storehouse to the palace, carrying 2 baskets full of rice. A village girl named Rani saw that a trickle of rice was falling from one of the baskets. Quickly, she jumped and walked along beside the elephant, catching the falling rice in her skirt. She was clever, and she began to make a plan. At the palace, a guard cried, "Halt! Thief! Where are you going with that rice?" "I am not a thief," Rani replied. "This rice fell from one of the baskets, and I am returning it now to the Raja." When the Raja heard about Rani's good deed, he asked his ministers to bring her before him. "I wish to reward you for returning what belongs to me," the Raja said to Rani. "Ask me for anything, and you shall have it." "Your Highness," said Rani, "I do not deserve any reward at all. But if you wish, you may give me 1 grain of rice." "Only 1 grain of rice?" exclaimed the Raja. "Surely you will allow me to reward you more plentifully, as a Raja should." "Very well," said Rani. "If it pleased your Highness, you may reward me in this way. Today, you will give me a single grain of rice. Then, each day for 30 days, you will give me double the rice you gave me the day before. Thus, tomorrow you will give me 2 grains of rice, the next day 4 grains of rice, and so on for 30 days. "This seems to be a modest reward," said the Raja, "but you shall have it." And Rani was presented with a single grain of rice. The next day, Rani was presented with 2 grains of rice, and the following day, Rani was presented with 4 grains of rice. On the 9th day, Rani was presented with 256 grains of rice. She had received in all 511 grains of rice, enough for only a small handful. "This girl is honest, but not very clever," thought the Raja. "She would have gained more rice by keeping what fell into her skirt." On the 12th day, Rani received 2,048 grains of rice, about 4 handfuls. On the 13th day, she received 4,096 grains of rice, enough to fill a bowl. On the 16th day, Rani was presented with a bag containing 32,768 grains of rice. Altogether, she had enough rice for 2 bags. "This doubling up adds up to more rice than I expected," thought the Raja. "But surely her reward won't amount to much more." On the 21st day, she received 1,048,576 grains of rice, enough to fill a basket. On the 24th day, Rani was presented with 8,388,608 grains of rice, enough to fill 8 baskets, which were carried to her by 8 royal deer. On the 27th day, 32 Brahma bowls were needed to deliver 64 baskets of rice. The Raja was deeply troubled. "1 grain of rice has grown very great indeed," he thought, "but I shall fulfill the reward to the end, as a Raja should." On the 29th day, Rani was presented with the contents of 2 royal storehouses. On the 30th and final day, 256 elephants crossed the province, carrying the contents of the last 4 royal storehouses. 536,870,912 grains of rice. Altogether, Rani had received more than 1 billion grains of rice. The Raja had no more rice to give. "And what will you do with this rice?" said the Raja with a sigh. "Now that I have none." "I shall give it to all the hungry people," said Rani, "and I shall leave a basket of rice for you 2, if you promise from now on to take only as much rice as you need." "I promise," said the Raja. And for the rest of his days, the Raja was truly wise and fair, as a Raja should be. The power of compound interest. So now that you've heard the fable, you can see the choice is pretty clear. It's better to have a single penny that doubles every day for a month versus $1 million up front. This is because of the power of compound interest. If you took a single penny and doubled it every day, by day 30, you would have $5,368,709.12. However, it's important to note that it's all about the power of doubling. If you asked the same question but changed the doubling time to just 27 days, you would only have $671,088.64. So the key takeaway for millennials from all of this should be: start investing early and often. The biggest gains and returns always happen later in life. If you start investing in your portfolio today and earn a modest 6% return, that might not seem like a lot of money, but in 30 years, earning a 6% return throughout your life, you're going to start seeing some huge returns later in life as you approach retirement. Remember, investing is a long-term endeavor. You shouldn't be looking to double your money in 3 to 5 years. You should be looking to grow your money over time. Remember, the rule of 72 will guide you in how long it will take to double. If you want to find out the rule of 72, find out a ton of different ways to invest and earn more income, find it at thecollegeinvestor.com. Copy and paste the title of this podcast right into the search bar You'll find the article, the links, and everything you need to know. Also, follow us all over social media. We're everywhere. We'd love to get to know you better and help you along in your journey. Thanks so much for stopping by today, and we'll talk to you again real soon.